This is college hockey on ESPN for the second consecutive weekend here in Amherst. The ranked matchup inside the Mullen Center. Number 13 Massachusetts will take on Ben Barr's Maine Black Bears at number 6 in the country. Welcome inside the Mullen Center, everybody. Alongside Johnny Lazarus, I'm Jay Burnham, and Maine brings their high-powered offensive attack into the building tonight. And Johnny, UMass without Michael Robble between the pipes.
It's a different look for the Minutemen tonight in the blue paint. They got Jackson Irving making his first start since January 18th. And on the other side, Albin Boya, the All-American for Maine, is in the pipes again. So it's a very different looking goaltender matchup than we've seen in the past between UMass with Michael Harabel against Boya for Maine. And Jackson Irving has a tough task ahead of him tonight, but he is more than capable of coming out and stealing a win.
We have some of the most high-flying, exciting freshmen in this series, as well as we take a look at our players to watch for Maine. Justin Poirier has really been all that they need. Justin
Poirier is coming off of a 5-point weekend against BU and was named the Hockey East Rookie of the Month. He stands at 5'8", but he is a bulldog offensively. He's got 8 goals in 8 games, and it's no accident because he could shoot the puck, but he's also tenacious and he's willing to get to those dirty areas in order to put the puck in. This kid is so exciting to watch for the Maine Black Bears.
And how about for Massachusetts? 7 goals already for Václav Nestrasil.
The Chicago Blackhawks first-round pick, Václav Nestrasil, is off to an incredible start to his college career. He's riding a 3-game point streak right now, and even though he is a freshman, the offense flows through him. He's got such good hockey sense and is so dangerous at 6'6" in all 3 zones. His elite skill is what separates him from the rest of the pack. So watch for him to make a ton of plays in all areas of the ice tonight.
We've got an exciting Hockey East matchup tonight. Puck drops next from Amherst. We touched on it just a moment. We'll take a look at the goalie matchup. You can see Albin Boya on the left. He was a Richter Award finalist last year. And then Jackson Irving, who's kind of been in the shadows behind Robble. He'll get his 5th start of the season tonight, and it's a big one.
You know what you can expect.
5th start of his career, excuse me, and it's a big one.
All good, Jay. All good, Jay. You know what you can expect from Albin Boya. Even though he's been off to a slow start for his standards at a .895 save percentage, we're used to seeing Boya above that .915 save percentage mark. But for Jackson Irving, his last start was January 18th in a 5-2 win against Merrimack, where he made 26 saves and skated to a .929 save percentage. His numbers are incredible, even though he's only gotten 4 starts. Irving does have a 1.50 goals against and a .943 save percentage, so he's more than capable of coming in here and getting a win for UMass. But with how long it's been since he's last played, you know the guys are going to defend just a little bit extra hard in front of him.
They're staring down the barrel of a team that scored 8 goals on Saturday up at Alphond. What a wild weekend it was for the Maine Black Bears. Meanwhile, for Massachusetts, they split a defensive-minded matchup here against Cornell last weekend.
You're not used to seeing Boston University get swept, first of all, but let alone get swept the way they did with letting in as many goals as they did last weekend. And it's great for Maine to have that confidence offensively coming into tonight's game. But Ben Barr also understands that, hey, we need to lock in a whole lot more defensively going up against a team like UMass, because we can't be letting in 4 or 5 goals a night and expect to win.
Yeah, you get the impression that Coach Barr was happy they won, but not thrilled with how a lot of the things unfolded defensively. UMass making a shift on their top line. It'll be Musa, Jack Galanik, and Václav Nestrasil. Those 2 bumped up to the top line. Really your 3 most high-powered players, and away we go from inside the Mullen Center. UMass 6-3-0 on the season. Nestrasil tips this one in, no icing, and Musa on the chase. Langlois tries to rip it around the far boards. Friel is there to send it back for the Maine Black Bears. Maine at 5-2-1 and already 2-0 in Hockey East action. Out to play at Irving. A little timid there behind the boards, and back to get it. I'll go Larry Keenan, the defenseman for Massachusetts.
One thing you'll notice, Jay, about these 2 teams, they play a very similar style. Maine's aggressive on their forecheck. They love to create offense off dumping pucks in and getting it back. UMass a very similar way. They're aggressive up front. They play in your face. So look for both teams tonight to mirror each other a little bit.
And now Maine will get their top line out. Poirier, Max Scott, and Charlie Russell. Russell had a couple of goals in that weekend series against BU. And back check nicely here for Massachusetts. And Kleshka, who's on the line with Jenshko, countryman on the wings on this second line for Massachusetts. Shot on, saved by Boya. Comes from the point from Ovalstad. Battle for the puck, D'Angelo taps it back below, and All the way to the far boards now for Owen Murray, scrumming with Poirier. There's Holt, team captain, along the walls. Van Tassel's got it. One-timer D'Angelo fanned on it, had a premium chance.
Great look for D'Angelo. We've seen Jack Musa score from a similar spot in this season. UMass loves to win those puck battles and find the guys in the soft areas, and D'Angelo had a great chance to get that one on net, but fanned on it.
Max Scott able to get it in, and now Mellenbacher out there for UMass, turned over. Here's Pichette off the right wing. His shot goes off the end boards. And Kerr lays a hit, and that allows the Minutemen to come away with it.
Coach Barr definitely told his forwards to test Jackson Irving early in this game, knowing he hasn't played a game in a long time. Maine's going to look to shoot the puck as early and as often as they can here.
Komarov gets it out. UMass puts it back in. Yeah, I mean, just a little banged up, we were told, for Michael Robel, who started every game in net for Massachusetts this season. Lieberman racks it in. Boya will play it behind the net. Chabrier will set it up here for the Maine Black Bears.
Harabel not even dressed tonight, too. He's in the stands in a suit, but that could be good for him also to see the game from a different angle. Coaches always like to do that for forwards and defense, but a goalie, it's not very often that they get that chance to watch the game from up high, so this could be a learning lesson for Harabel as well. Even though it is injury, it's not a healthy scratch by any means.
And we were kind of curious when or if Robel would ever come out of net. Last year it only happened because he played in the World Juniors. This one up and out. Onto the stick of Sholey, looking to the high slot. Lifted, got it back for Maine. From the point, Jurasevich has his shot blocked. Save Irving, scrum for the puck, into the crease, and it's knocked wide. Irving stands his ground.
What a block by Jack Musa on the initial shot to not let that through, and you can see that a lot tonight from the Minutemen. The forwards are going to be very dialed in the defensive zone to blocking shots. Again, knowing Irving hasn't played in quite a few months, but the Maine Black Bears on the attack early. I thought they passed up a good shooting chance from the goal line, but to find the defenseman creeping in from the point for the Maine Black Bears, I think it was Jurasevich who got that shot off. You like to see that puck movement for the Black Bears.
Jurasevich, 1 year at Maine, or rather second year at Maine, 1 year at Merrimack. Got a good look. UMass got in front. Galanick on the draw. He'll take on Charlie Russell. And this is where UMass has really not lived up to where they want to be at the face-off dot this season, towards the bottom of the NCAA. Loose puck, tapped back. UMass couldn't get out of the zone. Now to Holt at the point. His shot deflected, wrapped around in the near post, swept away by Van Tassel. Good opportunity there for Maine, and now Van Tassel will send it in for UMass. He had a great series last weekend. D'Angelo. It's it deep. Peterson, the defenseman, sends it out for Maine along the near boards. Friel trying that lead pass, and he had Lipinski, but couldn't get it through. Now D'Angelo trying to create. Nadeau will take the turnover into the UMass zone. Nadeau shot, save Irving. So far, so good.
Nadeau can rip the puck too. Irving being tested right now from distance, which is great, and he's seen the puck well. Maine's going to have to get bodies in front and try to take his eyes away, because right now Irving is looking super comfortable in that blue paint in the first 5 minutes.
Maine, we mentioned, number 6 in the nation, coming off their first Hockey East tournament victory and championship in 20 years. The reigning champs, kept in by Massachusetts Keenan. And we got a penalty coming up on the Minutemen.
Probably going to be a roughing on Kletchka. He had Poirier with his numbers to him. Can't hit a guy in the numbers like that. I know the Minutemen are trying to put a body on Poirier, knowing how dangerous he is, but that's a vulnerable position for a player to be in and get hit.
Really got to keep him marked. Justin Kerr just trying to get a touch here as Maine will set it up with a man advantage. Goes through the stick of O'Neill, and the Black Bears can't take advantage, but they'll have a man up for the next couple of minutes.
Lucas Kletchka, the freshman for the Minutemen, is going to the box here. As the official is saying it's a boarding call. It could have been a rough, anyone you want to call it. Whenever you see a player's numbers, especially in the offensive zone, a bad penalty to take in the offensive zone. Coaches never like that. But you got to hold up. Get your stick in there, get stick on puck, and rub a guy off into the boards. You don't want to finish your hit with their numbers to you. You're going to get called every time.
So Kletchka takes the penalty. Max Scott almost 57% on faceoffs this season. The guy you want out there if you're Maine, but UMass will win this one. And Van Tassel can't clear it, takes a bounce to Nadeau. And that allows the Black Bears to set it up. Friel to Nadeau, top of the circle. First power play of the game. Nadeau and Holt at point. Nestrasil so tricky with that long reach. Nadeau works around him. Operating here out to the left side. Poirier. The shot save, Irving, and he will stop on top of it with 14:37 to go here in the first period.
A little too patient right now for the Maine Black Bears power play. Ben Barr talked about it earlier this week. They're not giving them a lot of chances to get set up, so it's good to see the Black Bears get set up. Ben Barr said that's been a struggle for his team so far this year, but you got to get a shot off early to test the penalty killers and to make them honest. You got to keep them honest. So Maine holding onto the puck for 30 seconds before they even look to shoot. That's going to cost them a little bit if they continue to do that.
There's Coach Ben Barr, familiar, of course, in these parts. 5th year, if you believe it, up at Maine after 5 years in a national championship here in Amherst.
The only knock on Ben Barr's pedigree is that he recruited me to UMass. That's the only thing you can say bad about him.
I'm sure he'd say that was a great move.
Saw him this morning in the hotel. Always great to see Benny Barr. He's done an incredible job at this program. And
Peterson shot wide, and it's off the stick. Couldn't hold it in for Peterson. Yeah, I think, look, people knew that Maine had the pedigree to get this program back to where it once was, and he did that in the blink of an eye.
Well, Benny was always a really good recruiter. He was at Providence right before they won a national championship at Union, similar to when they won their national championship, and he got a lot of big names to come to UMass, and it was never a doubt that he was going to be able to do the same thing at Maine. And if you've ever been to a game up at Alphon Arena, it's one of the best hockey atmospheres you could ever find.
Lacroix can't control this one for UMass. Peterson from the point, a minute to go in this man advantage. Just 1 of 12 last weekend on the man advantage, and I think that came out. It did. Oh, Maine makes a huge mistake. Peterson couldn't hold the line, and the puck will come out with 52 on the power play.
That was very close to staying in. Lucas Peterson, another freshman for the Maine Black Bears, who's gotten off to an iffy start adjusting to college hockey. He played for the Green Bay Gamblers in the USHL last year, and Ben Barr talked about some of the young guys that are adjusting to the not only lifestyle of college, but also just how physically demanding college hockey can be. And he mentioned Peterson as one of those guys, but it's good to see a freshman getting some reps on a power play unit, even though it's a second unit.
Yeah, Peterson already 5 assists this season. UMass winning these faceoffs, now up 4-2 in that category and in huge spots to try and nullify this power play for Maine. 13 new players, just 2 of those transfers as Nadeau walks it in. Back to Holt. Captain Nadeau. Holt looking, Nestrasil in his way. Poirier shot, saved by Irving. A broken stick to boot for Ovalstad. 17 seconds on the man up. Back to Poirier, his one-timer goes high and wide. Maine feeling it. 5 seconds to go. Holt pumps, fires, and Irving hangs on.
One of my biggest pet peeves in hockey, Jay. Jack Galanic's stick is given to Ovalstad because Ovalstad's stick breaks. Right here on the replay in the middle of your screen, Lucas Ovalstad's stick snaps in half, so Galanic has to give his stick to the defenseman because D are always in charge of clearing the puck out. But Galanic, instead of going to the bench and grabbing a stick and maybe missing 10 seconds of play, is now stuck penalty killing without a stick. So it turns into a 5-on-3 essentially because a player is almost useless without their stick on a penalty kill. I'd rather see a guy go to the bench and grab a new stick.
Bichette put that one left pad saved by Irving. He is under pressure here early on. And UMass will try to regroup. Yeah, that's an interesting. So you'd rather see him go, leave the play, get a stick as opposed to taking or giving his to Ovalstad.
If you're on the power play, you're taught to isolate the guy without a stick. So you turn it into a 2-on-1, 5-on-3 because it's impossible to defend those situations. But UMass got a lucky break with a save from Irving there.
UMass kills the penalty. Inside 13 to go here in period 1. No score from Amherst. Oh, 2 tremendous coaches in Hockey East. They know each other very well, each effusive in their praise of the other throughout the course of the weeks when they play one another. And Coach Carville, Coach Barr saying, look, I root for the guy, except for, of course, when they're playing us in 5th season. It just seems like Coach Ben Barr was here last week, and Greg Carvel in his 10th season already for UMass.
I played for both coaches, Coach Carvel and Coach Barr, both equally as intense. Every day I remember in practice, Benny Barr, the things he'd say is just move your feet, move your feet, move your feet. That's the one thing he preaches the most in his players is their compete level and their work ethic. And that's why Maine has been so good in his tenure, because nobody works harder in the country than the Maine Black Bears. You can say the same about the UMass Minutemen. The standard has been set since year one. You got to work hard, you got to play fast, and you got to be prepared. And that's what Greg Carvel preaches in this word culture that is so prevalent amongst UMass hockey.
Oscar Komarov taking the draw, the sophomore finished product. UMass wins it, but can't get the puck out. Yeah, Coach Barr also saying about move your feet, especially on the wider sheet of ice here, where some of these guys haven't played really live action hockey on a sheet like this.
I used to wake up with a sweat at 3 a.m. hearing Benny's voice in my head saying, move your feet, move your feet.
There's Landon Nyes, the 18-year-old for UMass. UMass gets the puck through the neutral zone, but this has been in control of Maine so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty back and forth. The power play obviously makes it seem like play is mostly in the UMass Minutemen defensive zone, but neither team has necessarily generated many high danger chances. Irving's shots that he's faced so far have mostly come from the perimeter, but the Minutemen have done a great job so far at blocking shots.
Jackson Irving out of Newbury, Massachusetts. Father Bruce, goalie at Cornell. Goalie lineage as Irving gets the start today, the first of the season for him.
Best possible scenario for Irving, too, to field the puck early. 7 shots already for Maine in the first 8 minutes. That's exactly what you want for a guy who hasn't played in a long time.
Without a doubt. Sully Sholey on the draw. Maine will keep it in. Ovalstad digging for the puck. Black Bears shuffle it to the near side. Sholey gets taken off the puck. And Yenchko off the end boards. UMass trying to gain possession. Here's Ovalstad. Ovalstad, one of the 2 captains for UMass on the D side. Stop for D'Angelo. Finds Ovalstad. His pass deflected. Marcus gets it. And UMass swipes it right away. There's Owen Murray. It's the leadership for UMass on this deep pairing top. Deep pairing of Murray and Ovalstad. As they go, the team will go, and they turn it over. Sholey gets a shot off the glove of Irving. Into the corner now. Chabrier from the right point. This takes a funky bounce across the crease, and nobody could punch it home. Here's Peterson now maneuvering in. Peterson gets deep. Peterson's shot is slid across, and Nadeau couldn't get it down.
Great scoring chance for Nadeau right there on the doorstep. He tried to shovel it. A tough angle for a right-handed shot to get that puck off.
The attack again. UMass Keenan got a piece of that one, deflecting and protecting. Bouncing puck finds Nadeau. Trying to the high slot. Lipinski navigating in, and it's off the body of Irving. And we've got post-whistle activity as Jackson Irving sprawling out in the crease, able to hang on.
I'm surprised Josh Nadeau passed up the chance to shoot. He had Jaden Lipinski, the Calgary Flames prospect, open, but that's a hard pass to make. Lipinski actually had really soft hands there, able to caress that puck in the slot and then toe drag it to his backhand, but wasn't able to get a shot off on Irving. Very aggressive in his crease, diving on that puck, but it looked like Lipinski lost control.
Jaden Lipinski out of Scottsdale, Arizona. A couple of goals on the season. Great at the faceoff dot. Leads the way for Maine at 6:46. This time UMass, they have, whatever they've done over the past 5 days, they have increased their faceoff wins now 8-2 in favor of the Minutemen. Looking for some ozone time, however. Being outshot 10-2 so far.
Weathering a storm a little bit right now.
Del Alce gets hit by Nadeau. Puck squirts free to Keenan. See if Cam O'Neill can break it out for UMass. Sauces this one a bit too far. Here comes Lucas Peterson out of Waldwick, New Jersey, as it deflected up and over the glass.
Good forecheck by Matthew Wild, who after last weekend is really starting to show himself a little bit more. A guy who transferred from RIT in Atlantic Hockey is still trying to show Coach Carvel his compete level. Coach Carvel was very vocal about Wild's adjustment to coming to UMass, and again, UMass is a very demanding program to play for. Wild's still trying to earn his keep here as he's on the fourth line right now with Lacroix and Cam O'Neill.
Coach Carb not pulling any punches on what Wild needs to do to be successful here. Also, by the way, UMass without Bo Cosman for the second consecutive weekend after he scored his first 2 collegiate goals 2 weeks ago. Langlois tries the lead, and Scott couldn't get a stick on it. Now Van Tassel will wind it up for UMass. Doesn't have numbers into the slot, and Kerr couldn't get the stick down. Justin Kerr is starting to see more and more time on that third line for Massachusetts, anchoring as the centerman. UMass with a hard hit.
Coach Carville praised his face-off ability. That's a big reason why.
Huge. Didn't see him at the beginning of the season. Now Kerr tries to chop it in. Langlois comes away with it. Savage tipped off the stick of Poirier. And all the way to the end boards. Del Elche scoops it out for UMass. And this will be icing on the Minutemen with 9:33 to go in a scoreless game.
And the face-offs are a big storyline for UMass, like you've been talking about, Jay, because the Minutemen down the middle have 3 freshmen and 1 sophomore, all underclassmen. It takes a lot of time to build up the strength to be able to win draws consistently. College, obviously, guys are working out 2 or 3 times a week. You're getting bigger, you're getting faster, you're getting stronger, and that also includes the work in the face-off dot. So you're taking a lot of draws against older, stronger men.
Yeah, Kerr, 6:59, leading the way for UMass. Doesn't get this one here. Keenan staples his man up into the boards, and we got a hand pass. UMass hit with a hand pass off the face-off dot last weekend against Cornell, leading to a penalty. And that was kind of a topic of conversation throughout the week for Coach Carville.
Always got to know the rule book, especially the players that aren't necessarily used to the North American style of hockey. Coach Carville had a lot of good jokes in this week's media availability about it. But one thing I also will say about this game right now is that although UMass only has 2 shots on goal, it actually could be a positive spin where Boya is starting to look a little bit bored in his blue paint. So if you test him as this period progresses, maybe you'll catch him off guard.
Finding the positive in a tough situation right now, and hey, all it takes is 1-2, and that certainly flips things as Maine has done a lot of work here in the O-zone. Chabrier sends it through. Irving got a pad on it. Loose puck out in front. Still there, and it goes wide. Oh, man. Deroy had a look on the far post. Couldn't get it in. UMass has dodged a couple of bullets here. Still Maine on the attack. Komarov pinned up by Keenan. Out to Del Elche. The sophomore will shovel it out. Battling. That's a pretty good stick work for Lucas Kleshka to get it in and get a change.
That's a big part of this game, too. Winning the battles at the blue lines. You don't want to turn pucks over on the offensive blue line, then Maine goes the other way. So strong effort there from Kleshka.
Denchko gets hit. D'Angelo sends this one on. Puck bounces off the backside. Down to keep it in is Lieberman, redshirt freshman for UMass. Komarov away with it for Maine as he gets out of the zone and tries to shovel it in, but UMass knocks it off the big body of Lieberman, and they got a rush opportunity. Here's Lieberman, his shot off the glove of Boya. Now we're going the other way. Marcus into the zone. Marcus stick handling, leaves it. Shot Holt doesn't get through. UMass getting in front of some pucks here early on. Centering pass, Nestrasil says, I'll take that. Vaslav Nestrasil really has made an impact in just a handful of games this season for UMass. One of the top point-scoring freshmen in the country.
So excited to watch. And Coach Carver also mentioned he's a kid right now who is still somewhat cheating the game a little bit, but that's something they're really working with him on, is being competitive in the defensive zone as well.
Well, this takes a main bow. Shot saved by Irving. Taken away by the Black Bears. Out in front again. Irving hangs on at point-blank range. Miguel Marcus, the Nashville Predators draft pick, had it. And Irving hangs on. Timeout. 7:20 to go here in the first. Shots 12-2 in favor of Maine, and testing Jackson Irving here early on.
Jackson Irving is making up for what was nearly 11 months without playing a game, but the Maine Black Bears are putting him under attack right now. But the 6-foot goaltender in Irving is showing his athleticism. He's at the top of his blue paint. He's aggressive. He's taking away angles, and he's coming up with some big-time saves right now. What's most impressive for a kid who hasn't played in a long time is his rebound control, because there's not a lot of second or third opportunities for Maine right now, and that's going to frustrate them as this game continues.
7:20 to go here in the first period. First of back-to-back games against the Maine Black Bears here in Amherst. Only one power play so far. That was in favor of Maine. UMass last weekend was 2 of 3 on the power play, and Coach Ben Barr said this during the week. I think would be echoed by Coach Carville. Games like this are decided by special teams and goaltending.
Always when teams are this evenly matched.
And Maine has actually been one of the more penalized teams in the nation. This one goes up and out.
You can tell right now UMass is not necessarily breaking the puck out so cleanly. They're just trying to chip it out, do that punt and hunt, as Mike Sullivan calls it. I'll give a little credit to the New York Rangers head coach when the defense flips the puck almost like an alley-oop and has the forwards skate into it and try to win a 50-50 battle and get to offense that way, because Maine's forecheck right now is pretty much on par with how they want to play, which takes away all the passing options for the Minutemen breaking out.
Lacroix wins this one, but it bounces over the stick of Wild and sent back in by Maine. What are we calling it? The alley-oop?
Hunt and hunt.
Okay.
Or the alley-oop, either one works.
Cross-ice pass with a head of steam, O'Neal. O'Neal in, and a sliding block by Langlois. He read that very well.
We're combining all 3 sports that you call, Jay.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to confuse you a bit, probably.
My brain is mush at this point, if you haven't been able to tell. We got hockey here tomorrow, and then basketball doubleheader on Saturday. Football coming up on Wednesday. Waiting and waiting. Jurashevich kept in by UMass. Kerr looking for somebody. Langlois gets the loose puck, sends it out for Russell. Always so dangerous. Chopped down by Del Elche for Massachusetts. And he tries to connect with Mellenbacher, but UMass can't get a stick on it, and they ice it again.
The Minutemen are just disconnected in all 3 zones right now. It seems like passes aren't going tape to tape. The forwards are leaving the zone and looking behind them, not opening up to the pass. That's something that coaches preach to, especially in a morning skate. When you turn, always have your back away from the play so you can actually face the person that's passing you the puck. Right now, it looks like the back is to a lot of defensemen for the Minutemen.
Max Scott, the Brown transfer, top line centerman for Maine against Kerr on this draw. UMass will come away with it. Van Tassel looking to create. Here's Mellenbacher. 2-on-2 and offsides. Can't have that happen when you finally get a chance in a rush for UMass.
Again, it's just disconnected. A 2-on-2 rush. Mellenbacher, instead of attacking through the middle and maybe dumping it in or kicking out wide to Van Tassel, tries to drift off a little bit, and not a bad play, just a poor read with Van Tassel flying down the wall. You almost want to see Mellenbacher chip that behind the defenseman and let Van Tassel skate into it as F1.
See how amped up Nick Van Tassel is, the junior from Basking Ridge, New Jersey, 7th round selection for Ottawa. It's really become more of a factor for UMass. Was on the top line last week, now on that 3rd line. This top line out for UMass, and a neutral zone turnover finds Nestrasil. Nestrasil will have the backhand go over Boya. He's been waiting peacefully in his crease. With the best scoring chance of the day for UMass. Galanic out to the point. Keenan finds Del Elche. Del Elche, shot deflected, and it goes into the corner. Galanic back taps it from Yusa. Now Nestrasil. Somebody lost a stick. Maine away with the puck and out of the zone. The best shift for UMass to get a couple of pucks deep and on Boya.
Even though UMass hasn't generated a ton offensively, especially sustained pressure, for more than 30, 45 seconds, Maine hasn't really hemmed them in their own zone as much. This has been a weird first period where it feels like Maine's in control, but they haven't been that dangerous.
Maine back in. Komarov off of his stick. We'll bring it back out with 4:56 to go.
So if you're Maine right now, you're feeling good about your game, but there's still a whole lot more that you can get to. And I think that's what Ben Barr is going to tell his guys during this upcoming media timeout.
We will step aside, still scoreless from the Mullen Center. Replica UMass hockey jerseys are here, complete with the Hockey East patch. Snag yours in stores or online at umassstore.com. Create your free account so that you can earn points for buying UMass gear and engaging with the UMass Store social media accounts. And Amherst Brewing and UMass Athletics have teamed up for the Massachusetts Lager. You want to get your hands on this. A crushable lager brewed with local Valley Malt Pilsner and lightly dry hopped with Mosaic hops. Try it today at your local Hangar Pub and Grill or find it at your local liquor store. (12-2) shots in favor of Maine so far. Maine last year 24-8-6, a tremendous year. They lost to Penn State, the regionals out in Allentown. So far this year, 3 overtime games already, 2 of those wins.
Maine's been one of the more exciting teams to follow, especially because of the freshman Justin Poirier, the Carolina Hurricanes prospect, who's been quite the goal scorer so far in college hockey. 8 goals in 8 games, had a hat trick in his first career game. You don't see that often, but he's taken the NCAA Hockey League or division, whatever you want to call it, by storm.
The game-tying goal on Friday set up the overtime winner as well in that one. Poirier, phenomenal thus far for Maine. UMass able to get this one out. Back to Jurasevich. Onto the stick of Langlois. He fires it in. Takes an awkward bounce off the back of the net. Hit a post and went over the glass.
Another defensive zone draw here for the Minutemen. The faceoffs have evened up a little bit. It was 8-3 in favor of the Minutemen. Now it's 10-8, so Maine is starting to bear down a little bit in the dot. But it feels like the Minutemen have taken a lot of these draws in their own zone. There's been so many offsides, icings, whistles that have caused defensive zone draws for the Minutemen. And it does seem like the fourth line, AJ Lacroix, has taken a lot of them in the defensive zone, so he must be doing pretty good in the dot so far tonight.
Sully Sholey will stare against Lacroix here. Sholey wins it for Maine.
I jinxed him.
You did. But this one snatched out of the air on the shot from Marcus.
I'll tell you what, if I asked you which goalie right now is the All-American, you'd probably look to the right side and say Jackson Irving, because he looks incredibly confident in his blue paint right now. And that's not taking any credit away from Alvin Boya. He just hasn't faced many shots, so you can't see the skill that he has on display so far tonight. But I gotta say, for a kid who, I'm gonna keep saying it all night, for a kid who has not played since January, you could not tell with Irving.
Yeah, he stepped in last year when I think Robbo was out at the World Juniors and really impressed a lot of people. We got a whistle right off the draw.
Main center must have been stick down a little early. Looks like the center's getting booted from the draw. That's Shuley.
So Owen Fowler will take this draw. And they'll win it again. Chop back behind the net. Here's Sholey. Sholey to Jurasevich. Tries to send it through, and it doesn't, as it's blocked down by Galanic, battling for position in front of the net.
Really strong box out from the freshman center.
And the puck knocked out of the air. Dangerous play. UMass on their heels. Shot off a body as well. Ovalstad tries to get it out to the far boards to Musa. Stolen away by the Black Bears. On the attack, save Irving. On the rebound, Nestrasil. Trying to feed it to Galanic. Knocks off of Sholey and right back in for Maine. Hard hit for Ovalstad. And down goes the Black Bears player. Here's Musa on the attack. Finds the trailer, Keenan. Keenan maneuvering. Keenan driving behind the net. Got denied on the backside of the net and lost control. Now in for Nadeau. Nadeau trying to work around Delelche. Keenan comes to help and clean him up. Getting a little physical the last couple of minutes here.
Can always count on that from Lucas Ovalstad, that's for sure.
Yeah, he got it fired up for UMass's defense. Maine has been applying pressure the entire period, and now Delelche lays a hit. Nestrasil sends it out. Peterson knocks it down and right back in.
UMass has to get out of this period with the score tied.
Would really feel like a win if you're UMass if that's the case. Here's Lacroix. Sends it in from center ice. Boya out of the net. Saying, what do I do? I've been down here all by myself for 18 minutes. Stretch pass tipped and all the way down, and that'll be an icing. We're down to the final 5 minutes of the period, presented by Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine. Together, we'll write your comeback story.
Let's take another look at that hit, Jay, by Lucas Olvestad on Miguel Marcus, who is one of those freshmen that came over from the CHL, has to start adjusting to the physicality of college hockey. You see, Marcus just doesn't really have his head up as he's trying to cut to the middle, and Lucas Olvestad on that blue line, you can always count on him to go right through the body, and that's a perfect clean check from the Minutemen captain. Once
again, Maine clogs the shooting lane and comes away with a block and then a quick exit, and Poirier's shot saved by Irving. But looked like Kerr took a hard hit late as well as he's slow to get up.
Brandon Chabre goes right over and says something to him. I don't know if he's being nice or if he's talking smack, but I do got to say Kerr has been a nice bright spot in this Minutemen lineup. The freshman from the Youngstown Phantoms of the USHL doesn't have a point yet in his freshman campaign, but has been a big part of what the Minutemen are trying to do as far as doing the little things, getting pucks in, being responsible. You'll get another look as the Maine Black Bears are going right up the ice. Kerr and Chabre look like they kind of collide there in the middle of the ice. Kerr just landed weirdly. Looks like his ankle maybe got caught.
He comes off the ice without any assistance. Now D'Angelo and Scott. This puck just bounces over both sticks, and we got a penalty coming up. It looked like Murray got ripped down. Justin Poirier, I think, was the offending player, and UMass to go on the power play for the first time today.
And it looks like Poirier's chirping Olvestad a little bit, but each team now with an offensive zone penalty, and knowing Ben Barr and Greg Garble, they're not going to be happy about that, especially an offensive zone stick penalty as Poirier is going off for hooking. You'll see right off the draw in the middle of your screen, Murray trying to go around the net and make a breakout pass. Poirier just gets his stick right in the gut, not allowing Murray to make that pass, and that is an easy 2-minute call for the officials today.
Oh, this could take a lopsided period and erase the first 18 minutes rather
Beautiful
easily.
Camera too. Look at that.
Great camera work for the guys.
Love a penalty box camera.
Galanic on the draw. UMass controls Nestrasil. They've been on the defense all day long, and Maine will fight it out with Friel, Thomas Friel.
That was a good read by Max Scott as Nestrasil trying to make an exchange there, but Ben Barr wants his PK to be extremely aggressive. It's never good when your PK is passive, so look for the Black Bears to be all over the walls.
Takes a bounce from Yusa. Yusa with some steam. We'll try to set something up with 1:41 to go in the period. Del Elche to Galanic. Here's Nestrasil operating, and the pass out in front. UMass, it looked like Yenchko couldn't get it in.
Almost a bit of a force there by Nestrasil. That's obviously a look that the Minutemen work on in practice, but it wasn't really open. Holt had his stick on Yenchko, and that put Yenchko in a little bit of a handcuff position. Want to see Nestrasil attack the blue paint there and try to create a rebound.
Tough tight quarters pass. Here's Galanic now. Galanic spinning and lost it. Nadeau will scoop it up and have a shorthanded opportunity. Nadeau shot, he scores! And after all of that, Maine gets their third shorty of the season, and they take a 1-0 lead.
Just an unfortunate read for the freshman Jack Galanic on the power play, trying to make a play to the point, but it just goes a little too far out of the way of Del Elche, and Nadeau, who's such a dangerous goal scorer, comes flying down the middle of the ice with a semi-breakaway. He has some pressure on his back, so he's got to shoot the puck. If he wants to, he can protect it and make a move, but knowing Irving has been so strong, Nadeau chooses to go to the 5-hole, and that's just a really unfortunate play this late in the period that could deflate the Minutemen bench a little bit.
Without a doubt, third goal of the season for Josh Nadeau. Had 18 2 years ago as a freshman. UMass still on the Valley Solar power play. We've got another penalty coming up.
Cam O'Neill's going to go to the box.
Like
a trip.
Short-lived Valley Solar power play. Bench high energy bills and score with solar energy and battery storage with Valley Solar.
Excuse me, that's a hooking penalty, but can't imagine a worse end of the period for the Minutemen. They give up a shorthanded goal, and now their power play is over, and Maine will now have a power play to start the second period. As we get another look, it looked like the Maine forward actually lost an edge there, but O'Neill did have his stick up, so that's a tough call to make. But special teams right now deciding it in the way that you wouldn't think. It's a shorthanded goal that we have in the first period.
Fowler wins the draw. Here comes Maine. Holt looking for an opportunity, 4-on-4 for 46 seconds, and they'll score. Didn't take Maine long. That's Russell as he fires from the top of the circle. Now the Holt from the top of the circle. And Maine goes up 2-0 here in the first.
And what makes matters worse is that this is an even strength goal. It's a 4-on-4 goal for the Black Bears. Brandon Holt, one of the best upcoming NHL free agents in all of college hockey. He can really skate. He goes up the wall, gets a lucky bounce. I meant to say unfortunate for UMass, but it looks like it hits a shin pad. Irving makes the right read, but it takes a funny bounce off that shot. It looked like it might have caught the shin pad of Overstad and ended up going in the left side of the net.
So we're still 4-on-4. And two quick goals for Maine. Keenan centering pass. Swept away by Nadeau, who had the shorthanded goal. 33 seconds to go here in the first. 2-on-1. Peterson shot, save Irving. Rebound out in front. Del Elche will sweep it away. Maine will go up a man here for about 3 seconds. Wild shot from the point. Saved by Boya. Battling for the puck into the corner now, out to Keenan. 10 seconds in the period. Keenan sauces to Del Elche, back to Keenan. His shot goes wide. Gets it back with 4, out of the box, Poirier. And that will bring us to a close. A flurry of a finish here in the first.
What a play by Del Elche and Keenan. A little give and go from the blue line. The two guys who know very well of each other. They both played in Penticton together, and they've come to UMass together. You're seeing the chemistry there, but the Minutemen looked like they were so close to escaping a very poor first period, but the Maine Black Bears able to capitalize with 2 late goals and now have the Minutemen in a stranglehold.
A huge finish for Maine. Intermission number 1. 2-0 Maine after the first 20. We'll take a look at some of the highlights here. It began with a flurry of Maine shots on Jackson Irving, who's getting his first start in goal this season. And for the first 18 minutes, Johnny, Irving looked pretty good.
You can't even blame Irving for the 2 goals that the Maine Black Bears scored. They're just unlucky bounces for the Minutemen, one being on a power play, one on a 4-on-4 opportunity with a shot from the point. But Jackson Irving, a guy who hasn't played in nearly 11 months, came in and looked really strong in the first period. If you're looking for a positive for UMass, he's the only one so far. The Maine Black Bears were putting him under attack for the entire first 20 minutes. I mean, the shots were 19-3 in favor of Maine. There's a player on Maine who has more shots than the Minutemen. That's insane.
That's tough. And UMass, they were defending, they were rope-a-doping, waiting to get the bell to ring to end the first period, but gave up the shorthanded goal there to Josh Nadeau, and then another one on 4-on-4. Maine will actually have a 1-minute power play to start the second period, and that SOG right there, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Very tough pill to swallow, and if you are the Minutemen and you're looking at a score right now where you're down 2-0, not only does it feel like it's not that big of a hole to come back from, but when you haven't generated much offense at all, it does look bigger than 2-0. It looks like it's probably 4-0 because the Minutemen, I don't even think they had one strong grade A chance in that first period. They had one shift from their top line of Musa, Galanik, and Nestrasil, where they had 30 seconds of possession in the offensive zone, but didn't even really create anything from it.
We'll see if UMass can regroup. Maine in control. Period number 2 starts when we return. Hey, Minutemen fans, the best seat in the house is on the Zamboni. Enter to win a ride during the first intermission of every home game and help ice out hunger in the Valley, courtesy of Florence Bank. For every winning ride, Florence Bank will donate $500 to a local food pantry. To enter, visit umassathletics.com/ride. 2-0, a very difficult period for UMass, great period for Maine. Johnny, what's the message? What are the feelings coming out of a 20-minute stretch like that?
Well, if you're Ben Barr and Maine, you're saying do exactly what we just did in the first period. We were all over them. The Minutemen looked disconnected in all three zones. Their feet weren't going. Their passes weren't very crisp. They didn't really establish a forecheck. So right now, if you're Greg Carville in the UMass locker room, in between periods, you're telling the guys, just dump the puck in and go win a 50-50 battle and do the little things. Get back to the basics, because right now we got nothing going for us, and we're not going to create something out of nothing. So let's just play simple, get bodies in front of Boya, and try to do something to get momentum back.
Here's Holt, had the second goal. By the way, it will be a 1-minute man advantage for Maine to start this second period. So UMass will have to kill something first, and now another penalty coming up on the Minutemen. So add insult to injury here to start the second period.
It's going to be a tripping penalty, it looks like, on the captain, Owen Murray. Another stick penalty for the Minutemen. You've seen a hook, you've seen a trip. Just laziness right now. The guys aren't moving their feet, and they don't look dialed in. Maine is just rattling the Minutemen, and it's costing them. Now they got to kill a 5-on-3 for 46 seconds, and this hole that they're going to have to climb back from gets deeper and deeper. Owen Murray stops moving his feet on the left of your screen and just trips up Nadeau. You hate to see that from a captain.
Max Scott wins the draw, back to Nadeau. To Holt. Working in now to Nadeau, a 5-on-3 for 38 more seconds. Nadeau in the slot, blocked, and the ricochet score. That is Poirier. Oh man, the freshman gets his 9th goal of the season, and the Black Bears take a 3-0 lead.
It starts with the offensive zone faceoff. The Minutemen have struggled at the faceoff dot all year long, and Justin Poirier is not the guy you want to leave open, but in a 5-on-3, there's nothing but time and space for a player this dangerous. The shot by Nadeau is initially blocked by Musa, who does a great job of getting in the lane, but the Minutemen aren't able to recover enough over to Poirier, and he just puts that one home in the empty net.
So now 1:44 remaining with 5-on-4. I mean, this is a chance for Maine to go for the kill early on.
Yeah, and Jay, I got to be honest, I've played in a game like this before, and I feel for the guys on the bench. When you come out this flat at home, it's very tough to change your mindset.
Save Irving as he slides across the crease. Still in control, Russell tapped out by UMass's Mellenbacher.
You're almost just surviving this game now instead of playing. You want to get out there and make sure you're not making a mistake to make this lead even worse.
UMass has dug themselves a hole. A 5-on-3 cashed in by Maine to start this second period, up 3-0, and looking for more with 1:04 to go. On the 5-on-4, this shot held onto by Irving. At point blank yet again from Fowler.
The Minutemen got to make sure that they don't let their frustration show and take even more penalties. Maine's already had 3 power plays. This is their 4th. Great save by Irving, good recovery on that first initial shot there by the Black Bears on a 2-on-1 opportunity, a mini 2-on-1 opportunity. UMass just has to get through the next 58 seconds and get back to trying to do something positive at 5-on-5. I feel bad being this critical, but there really has not been much to be positive about so far for the Minutemen tonight.
Yeah, this has been heavy Maine offensive zone time, pressure. I've stacked up the shots on Jackson Irving. Scott sent out. Friel will take this draw against Jack Galanick. And now Maine has taken advantage in the faceoff department as well, up 15-14. Right to Poirier. He makes a move. And it's Nestrasil able to get a stick on it and send it out. And then Nestrasil goes down. That should be a holding the stick. Nobody saw it.
Poirier and Nestrasil were also chirping each other a little bit on the faceoff. That's a pretty good one-on-one battle between 2 NHL prospects.
35 seconds on the man advantage. Lining up here, Nadeau to the corner. Van Tassel pressuring. Ovalstad pinned up against the boards. Van Tassel goes down, digging at the puck, back to his skates. 22 seconds left on the man advantage. Now Van Tassel out with it. Try to chew up some time on this penalty kill. Get something on, he fanned. Nothing has gone right for UMass so far tonight. And Maine has taken advantage. 5 seconds remaining. Keenan will intercept this puck. Poirier grabs it along the boards, feeds it through. Out of the box, here comes D'Angelo. Del Elche can't get it out. Kept in by Poirier on pad. And stick save turned aside by Irving. Can you catch a breath if you're UMass here?
Not really. You're stressed out. Maybe a too many men call there, though, on the change.
Walkered away by Irving. Into the corner, Komarov. Keenan has his stick lifted from behind, maintains possession. Komarov pressuring him and turns it over at center ice to Gerrois. Here's Pichette, saved by Irving. Still in play, went up and off the boards.
I won't be surprised if Greg Carvel uses his timeout here at the next whistle, because the Minutemen right now are completely on their heels. It is all Maine, and they need to take a deep breath and just reset, because right now they are not playing even remotely close to their game.
That's a great point. UMass is frazzled. Coming on, Lacroix trying to create the turnover at center ice, digging at the puck wild as well. UMass just needs to figure out how they can get possession. And it pokes free to the UMass zone. O'Neill.
One thing Maine is doing really well so far is staying above the puck.
There's Wild looking for O'Neill out in front, and Lacroix spins it wide. UMass trying to find some semblance of an offensive scoring chance here. Nyes taken off by Marcus, and Sholey into the attacking zone. Sholey will have this one deflected high off the glass.
Sully Sholey had 5 shots on goal in the first period. The Minutemen right now have 3.
Fowler spinning, loose puck in the crease, steered wide by Irving. Another good chance for Maine as they're just putting it on net. Fowler wraps it around the boards. A clinic thus far for the Black Bears. Chabrier behind the cage and all the way out.
Good chance for the Minutemen to get some fresh legs off of a Chabrier shot that wraps around the boards. An easy breakout technically for the Minutemen, but they almost got hemmed in their own zone there for a minute. So good to see the guys make a change.
25-3 shots in favor of Maine. Nadeau couldn't handle that one. Back in for Yuzero. The extra skater today. Yuzero gets it to Friel. Kept in by Massachusetts into the slot, looking for a chance, and Yenchko couldn't settle it. Lays a hit. Gets it deep for UMass. Kleshka on the chase. Yuzero sent it to the far side, and now for Maine with numbers. Nifty spin move by Lipinski, and he puts it on, but hung on the glove save by Irving.
I don't know how Jaden Lipinski even got that shot off. He had 2 Minutemen checking him. It looked like Kleshko was going to lay him out in the middle of the ice there, but Lipinski dodges that hit and finds the puck and is able to get a pretty strong scoring chance on Irving. Jackson Irving, you got to give the kid credit. He's faced 26 shots already. I know he's allowed 3, but he's the only reason why this game is not even more out of control.
A couple of sprawling saves for Irving as well. 5:03 gone by in the second period. And I think we got a bit of an issue with the glass in front of the Maine bench. Taking a look, the officials are, something came loose. A puck might have rattled a piece of the plexi out.
This might be exactly what the Minutemen need.
They don't even have to use your timeout.
Yeah, this is exactly what the Minutemen need. And look on the other side, to the right of us, Alvin Boyer right now is stretching in his crease because he has not been tested at all tonight. But it looks like both teams are going back to their bench. We got a little bit of a delay here, and now the Minutemen have their chance to just take a deep breath and reset.
So maintenance needed. And UMass will be able to get a breather, which is something they desperately need.
One thing I will say too, Jay, we had a player performance coach named Luther my freshman year. I don't believe he still works for the team, but one thing that we did with Coach Carvel and Coach Barr as well, in practice, when our passes weren't crisp, when we just didn't look dialed in, Carver would actually stop practice for what felt like 5 minutes and just give us a mental reset. We'd all close our eyes for 10 seconds, take a deep breath, and then get back to work. And I think that's probably what's going on right now on the Minutemen bench, because again, this team right now looks nowhere close to what UMass hockey usually looks like. And I don't know if that's credit to Maine. I mean, you got to credit the opponent, but I don't know if it's also in the Minutemen's head.
UMass started the season with a weekend sweep against Northern Michigan, and then they won against Stonehill on the road. They lost a tough one here, 4-2 against Northeastern, and that Northeastern team has turned out to be the cream of the crop so far in Hockey East.
Yeah,
and then you split against Maine, against Cornell, which was a very defensive-minded series, as you would expect. Cornell, that's how they play the game. And seeing it just an entirely different style of play tonight from Maine.
It's also a Maine team again coming off of a big weekend sweep against BU. They're feeling good about themselves. They scored a lot of goals, and when you see pucks go in the net like they did last weekend, it just makes your confidence that much higher. And these guys came in with a lot of swagger tonight.
They scored 13 goals between Friday and Saturday. The two teams added up for 22 goals up at Alphonse.
You never see BU get scored on like that.
Scott gets sent out. Our glass issue has been fixed.
Minutemen banging on the boards, just trying to wake themselves up a little bit, show some sort of life here. One guy's got to make a play to get the momentum going.
Estrusel trying to feed Musa a bit too long, wind it up the other way. And Maine into the UMass zone. On his heels, Keenan. Right back to the point for the Black Bears. Here's Holt. His shot tipped high in the air. Plucked down by Scott. One-timer doesn't get through. Russell battling with Del Elche. Del Elche staples him up against the boards. And we got a penalty forthcoming.
Really smart by Francesco Del Elche to not fire back. It looked like Charlie Russell put him in a headlock. Undisciplined penalty for Russell to take up 3-0. Maybe you think you have enough room and you could retaliate. Del Elche just does a good job at pinning Russell against the boards. You see right in the middle of your screen, 11 in blue, kind of having his elbow on the head of Del Elche. But before this happened, he had a full headlock around him. So here's that break that the Minutemen can get if they can get one bounce in their power play. Oh, well, they evened them up. They called both. I thought they were just calling one.
Yep, Del Elche to the box. UMass trying to catch a break, cannot.
Excuse me, then. I thought they were just getting Russell. I didn't realize they were taking Del Elche, too.
Matching penalties for UMass and Maine, so we'll have 4-on-4. Fowler at the dot with Kerr. And Owen Murray first to the puck for UMass. A lot of ice to work with here. See if the Minutemen can get into the Maine zone. Van Tassel on his heels. Fowler. Maine 26 shots to 3 for the Minutemen.
Maine's already got one 4-on-4 goal tonight as well. Brandon Holt in the first period.
Here's Keenan. Keenan waits. Keenan over to Van Tassel, who scores. What a feed from Larry Keenan. And a lifeline for UMass.
There seems to be some confusion on the Maine bench. It took a minute for the officials to signal a goal, but Van Tassel and Keenan just get their legs going up ice. And Van Tassel, there's no doubt about that one. Van Tassel slams that one home, but the Minutemen take their time. Van Tassel was very patient. He had the puck in his own zone, curled back, picked up speed, and then got going north. And Keenan with that long reach, the defenseman 6'4", able to wrap the puck around the Maine defenseman and feed Van Tassel back door for that tap-in.
Well, they beat Boya, the first goal of the season for Nick Van Tassel. Yeah, it did look awkward from how Boya reacted and Maine reacted. UMass celebrated. A hesitation from the official. It's good, though. They're going to take a look at it.
It was in and out of the net so fast.
Yeah.
Even I was confused, though, because the puck was not in the net. In a split second after Van Tassel shot it, and Boya, knowing how good he is in the blue paint, he could have easily made that miraculous save. But as we saw from our great camera angles, there is no doubt about this one.
After video calling, I confirmed the goal.
There's Van Tassel just charging in. Nick Van Tassel, junior for Massachusetts, gets his first goal of the season, and UMass with a 4-on-4 takes advantage, and we still got 1:34 to go.
Plenty of hockey to go, Jay. This is just beginning now. Maybe the Minutemen can get going here.
Now Holt trying to respond to Doe off a skate. Van Tassel has it flutter towards Irving, who covers it up.
Heck of a play by Larry Keenan, too. You got to credit him. He's not necessarily known for his offense, but he got his feet going north when none of the Minutemen had been skating so far to this point of the game, and Van Tassel to just attack that back post. Really incredible play by those two.
We got another timeout on the ice. 13:48 to go. UMass off the mat, trailing 3-1. Larry Keenan on the 2-on-1 rush feeds Nick Van Tassel. The Minutemen had been down but not out. We take a look at the freshman class, and I mean, just Poirier, Nestrasil, two of the top freshmen in the NCAA.
Poirier, one of those guys coming over from the CHL, who's on a tear so far in his freshman year, and Václav Nestrasil, a Clark Cup champion last year at the Muskegon Lumberjacks in the USHL, has come over and really impressed a lot of people. He's the highest first-round forward draft pick in UMass program history, so a lot of eyeballs on him this year, and he's delivered to this point.
Add a goal there for Poirier for his goal tonight. 3 seasons in the queue with Baie-Comeau Drakkar.
Wow, well done.
I tried.
How many times you practiced that one?
I wrote it out phonetically. He scored 210 points in those 3 seasons. Led the queue with 51 goals in 68 games 2 years ago.
And he's just a kid who can find a way to score from anywhere. I know the goal he scored tonight, a very fortuitous bounce that lands right on his tape, but he's shown early on with his 9 goals that he'll score at the top of the blue paint right around the crease. He'll score on a one-timer, he'll score on a wrist shot or a rebound. This kid can do it all, and he's been very impressive so far this season in Justin Poirier.
What a fun thing to watch for Hockey East. Those 2 guys throughout the course of the season. Nestrasil's done some amazing things for UMass with his high hockey IQ. Meanwhile, the Minutemen trying to wrestle some momentum in this game back in their favor.
Good patience by Murray. You don't see something, take it back. Don't force. That's what the Minutemen were doing in the first period. They were forcing passes that weren't there.
Still 4-on-4. This one off the stick of Nestrasil, and it'll come back on icing.
Right on Nestrasil's tape. I think he was probably thinking a step ahead of what he was going to do once he got the puck and didn't focus on actually receiving the pass. It's one of those things like a wide receiver in football, right? You're thinking about what you're going to do once you catch the ball, and then when the ball actually comes, you drop it. Very similar in hockey.
So you still have 51 seconds on the 4-on-4, the matching penalties that Elche. And the draw here from Maine on for Irving. Loose puck, Friel scoops it up. Back to the point. Coughlin, his shot doesn't get through. Murray couldn't find it. Goes right back to Coughlin. Coughlin on the rush, and a pad, or rather shoulder save by Irving. It goes up off the cage. They're going to say no goal.
The puck went in, Jay, but Lipinski knocked it out with his hand, so you can't do that. You can't score a goal by knocking the puck out of midair with your hand. It went through Irving's 5-hole, but immediately waved off by the officials, and I don't even think there's an argument coming from the Maine bench. They all saw what happened there.
What a break for UMass. Let's see if we can get a look at it here. Off the chest of Irving.
41 in blue. Lipinski goes to glove it down, just goes right through the 5-hole of Irving, and that's a pretty obvious call. So another lucky bounce for the Minutemen here.
Out to Chabrier. 30 seconds remaining and on 4-on-4. Coughlin sends it in. Ovalstad back to Kleschka. Onto the stick of Jenczko. Jenczko with some momentum. Spins it back, looking for some help. Keenan off the bench. Here's Ovalstad now. Jenczko with a one-timer, doesn't get through. Rebound out in front. Kleschka couldn't get it in.
What a chance. Jenczko loves to get that one-timer off. Didn't hit the net, but Kleschka had a great opportunity right in front of the net. Just a tough angle to get a shot off.
Jenczko lays a hit on the forecheck here as we're back to 5-on-5. Chabrier with the puck behind his net. 8 minutes gone by here in the second period. How about D'Angelo just coming in, taking the puck away. Onto the stick of Keenan, circling around, falling down. Mellenbacher off the wall. Chabrier tries to get it out, and it's onto the tape of Fowler. How about that shift for D'Angelo? Coming in and creating the turnover for UMass. Ovalstad hammered up against the boards. Keenan there to erase his man. And this one from the point, steered aside by Irving. Got a good look at that puck, and now Van Tassel will take it through center ice for UMass. No stick handle deep in the zone. Van Tassel looking for Mellenbacher. One-timer from Lieberman doesn't get through. Might have hit D'Angelo on his way off the ice.
He got him right in the side of the leg.
Mellenbacher turns and tries to keep it in. Up the boards. with a head of steam now for Maine. Here's Sholey from the slot. Save Irving. Oh, man. What a premium scoring opportunity for Sully Sholey.
Sully Sholey very mad at himself after that one, walking right down Broadway. Already has 5+ shots on goal tonight. Looking for his first goal, just right in the middle of the ice. The Minutemen not able to get to triangle, which is what they call it. They like to have a guy in the middle of the ice when they're coming back on the back check. This is a 4-on-3 rush for Maine, and another prime scoring chance to give themselves another 3-goal lead, but it looked like Irving got a piece of it with his shoulder.
Sholey scored 3 points last weekend. Off the face-off, Pichette got a stick on it. Steered aside yet again by Irving. Off the boards and into the zone of Maine. Peterson hops off his stick, and Cam O'Neill will take it away. O'Neill with the shot, save Boya. Ricochet all the way to Murray. His shot doesn't get through, off the shins of Holtz. UMass a couple of good looks here. Cam O'Neill on the forecheck, creating that steal. He puts the spin on. Down below the goal line now. O'Neill back with it, chopping at the puck. He's got Wild with him, trying to thread it through, and it's stolen away by Komarov. Now numbers for Maine. Off the boards, Pichette, blocked by Irving. Langlois, Jurasevich, and Del Elche will take the free puck. UMass starting to feel a little more cohesive.
Well, they're moving their feet too. In the first period, they weren't really skating. Now guys are getting their toes going, getting up north, and they're getting on their forecheck. They didn't have any of that in the first 20 minutes.
Russell dumps it around Keenan, swiping over his Ovalstad for UMass. 9:45 to go in the second period. Along the near side, Musa. Back for Jurasevich.
This line's been pretty quiet. They had one good offensive zone shift in the first period, but you expect a lot more from Musa, Galanic, and Nestrasil. Need to see them get on their horse here.
Nestrasil pulls it out of the air, and he finds Galanic. Galanic puts on the brakes, and Nestrasil slides it through, looking for a tip from Musa. Long rebound, chopped behind the cage, and wrapped back around by Nestrasil, and it finds Poirier. Poirier now 3-on-2, 4-on-2, and the shot goes up and over from Loic Usero. Good opportunity there for the Maine Black Bears.
I like the poise of Poirier too. He had a 3-on-2 rush, but waited for that second wave of offense.
Usa gets taken off the puck by Usero. Nestrasil can't get there. Chabrier gets a stick on it. Cross ice pass to Nadeau. At the shorthanded goal to get it going. Throws it on from neutral ice. It's kicked out by Irving. Chopped at now by Lacroix, rather Kerr. And UMass wins it away. Onto the stick of Kerr, taken off by Holt. Such a premium player for this Black Bears team. Sauced into the slot. Lipinski back to Nadeau, and he missed the cage. Oh, and up and over.
What a play by the Black Bears. Nadeau with a prime chance, but Irving continuously shutting the door all evening. 32 shots already for the Black Bears.
That's an assault here for Maine, and they're looking for another one. This one spins behind the cage. UMass Knies is there with 8:04 to go. Starting to speed up. We got a penalty coming again, and this could help UMass as things were getting a little bit too fast.
Maine's starting to get rattled now, but Jackson Irving continuously shutting the door. A great scoring chance by the Black Bears. Nadeau tries to pull it to his backhand, and Irving with the aggressive poke check, denying that opportunity.
They are continuously proud supporters of all members of the military, both active and veterans, as well as Massachusetts hockey. Milton Cat, your Caterpillar equipment dealer for the Northeast. And a tripping penalty on Thomas Friel will give UMass a chance to pull a little bit closer here.
Another offensive zone penalty for the Maine Black Bears. It seems like every penalty in this game has been an offensive zone stick penalty. Friel just gets his stick in between the legs of Charlie Lieberman and trips him up. Got to be smarter with your stick there in the offensive zone. That's all it is.
Maine averaging 13 penalty minutes per game. That is 51st in the country. Not great. top line out there for Massachusetts and Maine.
Remember the last power play chance the Minutemen got turned into a shorthanded goal.
One-timer Yenchko deflected. Yeah, that was such a big blow dealt by Maine as they'll send this one all the way down.
And I feel for Jack Gallant because I remember my freshman year, it was a scoreless game. We were on the power play against Boston College at home, a huge whiteout, sellout crowd. I turned the puck over, and J.D. Dudek, I'll never forget it. I watched him go down and score on the other end, and we were down 1-0 at the snap of a finger.
Oh, it's going to be a lonely feeling.
I thought Carver was going to kill me.
UMass can't make anything happen there, and Maine will clear it once again.
But I will say, Jack Gallant, even though he hasn't scored yet this year, has been off to a really strong start to his freshman season, was on the team in Muskegon with Václav Nesvista last year that won the Clark Cup, and his confidence is so high. I mean, watching this kid play, you can just sense he has so much swagger, and if there's one kid out there that's going to make a mistake and make up for it, I have all the confidence in the world that it's going to be Jack Gallant.
Gallant doesn't have a goal, but he's got the assists, and he's been able to create goals for that top line as they'll take a seat. Now Van Tassel will come out with Kleshka and D'Angelo for Massachusetts. Komarov on the other side.
Sorry, Jay. I was just going to say Gallant is what you call a play driver.
That really helps create, and now Van Tassel gets this one deep. Finds its way back to Van Tassel, taking off the puck, wobbling through the slot, and Komarov eyes up ice. He goes up and under Van Tassel and tries to slide it through to Pichette. An aggressive move there for Komarov to create the opportunity shorthanded.
Van Tassel was all over him, too.
Not much happening on this man advantage. On the Valley Solar power play for Massachusetts, bench high energy bills and score with solar energy and battery storage with Valley Solar. We get a shot on goal at least here. Chipped in by Kleshka. O'Neill sends it back around. Here's D'Angelo below the goal line. Out to the point. Keenan to Van Tassel. 18 to go on the Valley Solar. Back to Keenan. Looking for an avenue, not there.
No lanes open. Really good PK by Maine, taking every option away.
5 seconds on the man advantage. Out to Van Tassel, and he shoots over the blocker of Boya. Back to Keenan, throws it on into the slot, no one home. And now man out of the box, 2-on-2. Here's Fowler. Friel did a good job to stay on sides, and this one turned away by Irving. Friel froze at the blue line as the puck went in. Now O'Neill will chip it in and get off the ice.
Not much going on for the Minutemen power play. They had a hard time setting up and didn't get any clean looks. You got to credit the Maine PK for being so aggressive and very strong in their structure.
Russell can't settle this pass. UMass trying to take advantage. They do. There's Ovalstad back to Murray. Trying to catch Maine off guard. Ovalstad shot off the stick. That's Poirier. He broke it though. Back to the bench to get it on the rush now for Maine. Russell dangling. He tries to find Scott Collin Ford. It chips all the way back to Peterson. From the red line, Peterson sends it high.
Good back check by Justin Kerr, and then he smokes Peterson at the red line, using that big body at 6'5".
Kerr a quick gather and dump in for Massachusetts. As they switch it up. Coughlin. This pass slid too far. Peterson, and now a turnover from Musa trying to generate something.
Dangerous play by Peterson there. Just throws a blind pass right to the middle of the ice. Almost a breakaway for Musa.
Free puck behind the cage, and Lieberman comes in to stall his man, allowing Gallant to take it out for Massachusetts. We got another penalty coming up, a slash on the Maine Black Bears.
Sully Sholey on Jack Gallant as Gallant tried to cut to the middle. Sholey just hacks him a little bit. Gallant loses the puck, and now the Minutemen go back to the power play again. Getting a lot of chances tonight. This will be their fourth opportunity.
We'll see if UMass can cash in, down 3-1 here late in the second. Goes to the box for slashing.
On the right side of your screen, Gallant, Tandem White tries to go outside, inside with the puck on his stick, going through the neutral zone. But Sholey with a decent hack on the stick of Gallant, and now the Minutemen find themselves on their fourth power play of the night.
Oh, this really, I mean, This is such a pivotal spot. Can UMass score and make it a one-goal game, or does Maine fend off another power play, kill it, and maybe get a goal of their own? I mean, this next goal just feels so pivotal for both teams.
Well, that's funny how the power play works sometimes. Usually power plays help a team gain momentum, but when your power play is as poor right now as the Minutemen's power play, it makes your bench deflate a little bit. So the Minutemen have had so many chances to get themselves back in the game, but haven't been able to generate much. And if they aren't able to even get a shot or a scoring chance on this rep, it might cost them the rest of this game.
I'll redo this face-off. Face-offs pretty even, 20 for Maine, 19 for UMass.
I'm very confident that this power play opportunity will make or break this game for the Minutemen. If they score, you got a hockey game. Maine's nervous, they're on their heels, and if you don't score, Maine's just full throttle and control. Back to
Nestrasil, his shot deflected. Got a good look at it. UMass didn't have a shot on goal on their last power play. Maine did a great job to kill it off, and now they'll chunk down some time as Yenchko gets pinned up against the boards into the corner. Musa back to Yenchko to get it to the point. Del Elche. Yenchko trying to set it up.
Look how aggressive Maine is, though, on the boards, not giving the Minutemen any options.
Yenchko walking in. His shot doesn't get through. Back to Del Elche. Doesn't pull the trigger. Galanic to Del Elche. One-timer Galanic. Pad save Boya. UMass still on the attack. Their best look in the offensive zone so far today. To the goal line, Nestrasil looking for Musa in the slot. To Galanic now. Plenty of time left in this power play, approaching 1 minute. Del Elche, patty cake back to Musa.
Look at the middle of the ice right now. Maine is not allowing anything in the middle of the ice. UMass is all on the outside.
Jurasevich lays a hit, but it comes out to Galanic. 47 seconds to go on the Valley Solar power play. Del Elche to the goal line. Nestrasil, one-timer. Musa didn't get it all, and it's cleared by Maine.
That's the exact look the Minutemen want. You got Musa in the bumper, a spot he's super comfortable in, is a spot that he can actually hammer a puck home, but it looked like a bouncing opportunity there. Musa couldn't get enough behind it.
A much better looking power play. UMass 9 power play goals entering tonight. Van Tassel will try to get something else off with 20 seconds to go on the man advantage. Holt takes him off the puck. Well played by the captain. Holt out to O'Neill. Here's Keenan. Kleshka to Keenan. 6 seconds. Keenan flings it on. Loose puck is there. D'Angelo fanned on it. And now Maine with a head of steam out of the box. Sholey. This one saved by Irving. Rebound out in front. And UMass and O'Neill can't clear it. Keenan trying to take down Holt. Puck squirts free out to the point. To Nadeau in the slot. They score. Nadeau number 2 on the day. And a turn of events just like that here for the Black Bears.
This all starts from the Bayville, New York native. Brandon Chabrier gets his feet moving north, creates the offensive opportunity for the Black Bears, and the puck bumps out to him at the point, and he finds Josh Nadeau with barely any room as Larry Keenan's right there. Nadeau just catches it and releases it right away. But the skating ability of Chabrier to create the offensive zone pressure, all the credit goes to him on that goal.
So UMass can't convert on one end, and then Maine gets an opportunity with Sholey coming out of the box. And now a loose puck right there. Another one doesn't get through. UMass trying to clamp down defensively, but Maine buzzing at this point. Murray back to Ovalstad, inside 2 to go. Lacroix gets hammered by Usero from behind. Scooped up by Murray, back to Ovalstad. 0 for on the power play for the Minutemen. There's Owen Murray. Tries to get a bounce off the boards. Pichette gets it over to Gerrois. Through center ice, Gerrois leaves it for Komarov. Komarov, a wide open shooting lane. Kicked out by Irving. Tied up on the side of the net. Del Elche, and he's able to get back to his skates.
You got to feel for Irving right now. Has allowed 4 goals, but has faced 39 shots. Team's down 4-1. Not playing super well in front of him, but he's doing everything he can to keep them in this game. This game is far from over.
It has been a barrage as this one goes up high off the glass. Sholey Now out to Kleschka, breaking out of the zone. Jenshko tries to play it through Holt, cannot. Turned over by UMass. 45 seconds to go here in the second period. Holt does a good job to gather and send it through. Irving will shoot it into the corner. Marcus out to Fowler. Sholey. And now UMass wins it away.
The Black Bears just do such a good job at angling and staying above the puck. The Minutemen haven't had any odd man rushes all night because Maine is just so responsible defensively.
They've been very aggressive even when UMass gets the puck and tries to bring it out. Maine's done a great job on the forecheck today. 8 seconds to go in this period. One more opportunity for Maine, perhaps. Lipinski can't get his stick on it, and that'll take us to the final 20. Maine cashes in after the UMass power play to take a 4-1 advantage after 2. Four to 1 Maine with the lead over Massachusetts here at intermission number 2, and we'll take a look at some of the highlights and stats here. But Maine has outshot UMass 39-9. That started to add up here in the second as well.
Justin Poirier gets Maine going in the second period with a goal on the 5-on-3. A block shot by Jack Musa just took a fortuitous bounce right to his blade, but then the Minutemen looked like they had some energy. Larry Keenan and Nick Van Tassel team up for a beautiful 2-on-2 rush, which resulted in a backdoor tap-in goal for Van Tassel. They got their feet going. They looked like they had energy. It looked like the momentum was back with the home team, but then things just continued to get worse for the Minutemen.
UMass had a couple of looks on a power play, and then as soon as it ended, Maine went into the Massachusetts zone. Now, bad news for Josh Nadeau because we had credited him with that goal, and it looked like going off the skate of Nick Van Tassel. They've changed it now to Sully Sholey scoring that goal out in front of the net.
I still think they might have to change it back.
All right, maybe Nadeau can politic for that to see exactly if he can get 2, because that would mean that he could set himself up for a potential hat trick today. As you see the stats, face-offs even. That's the good news for UMass. Block shots. UMass has been under duress all day, and just, I mean, that's a hard number to come back on, 39-9.
Yeah, and even though the Minutemen looked much better in the second period, they were still outshot 20-6. And they had 2 power play opportunities. Maine only had 1 power play opportunity, but Maine capitalized on theirs, and the Minutemen went 0 for 2. So special teams right now are certainly playing its role in this game, but it's not going well for the Minutemen, and they felt pretty good about their special teams coming in. The power play had been clicking coming in, but right now the power play is just not generating nearly enough.
We will drop the puck for period number 3. Maine in control in game 1 of 2 this weekend. Looking in on the Massachusetts Minutemen coming out of the locker room after period number 2. Minutemen trail 4-1, and we talked about it at the top. Number 6 team in the country, Maine. And they had a pretty busy weekend last weekend, sweeping Boston University. Ball down to number 12. UMass right there at 13. Minutemen are in the stretch of 8 consecutive games playing ranked opponents.
That's the beauty of Hockey East. You're playing against the best of the best every given night. You got I guess this is the road ahead where we're looking at. You got Maine again tomorrow night, then Boston College for 2, Providence for 2. A lot of highly touted prospects on those teams. We'll be back on the call, right, for Boston College next week and the week after in Providence. That'll be fun. Hopefully a better result than what we've seen so far in the first 40 minutes.
I mean, this Maine team has been tenacious, and they have not given UMass any opening. Just a couple of opportunities on those power plays, but they have clamped down on the penalty kill, and they've been the aggressor tonight. But you got 20 minutes to change that tune if you're UMass. For Maine, man, you get this one to start the weekend, you're feeling pretty good, bird in hand, right?
Oh, yeah, and knowing that Michael Harabel's not on the other side is a big factor for the Maine Black Bears, too. You're going against a guy in Jackson Irving, who's a great goaltender in himself, but Michael Harabel obviously being a second-round pick at 6'7", just a little bit more dangerous than that blue paint.
Already a career high in saves tonight for Irving add another one to it as he kicks this one out.
And he's been amazing. I give so much credit to Jackson Irving for continuing to play well in this game too, and give his team a fighting chance in the third. I mean, 3 goals is not impossible. Doesn't seem that way right now because they only have 1 goal on 9 shots, but I've seen crazier things happen, I'm telling you.
We talked about Maine giving UMass those power play opportunities, taking a long time here. Jurasevich.
Don't blame him. Kill the clock. It's on your side.
You just got to maintain. This one goes into the UMass bench.
I always find that funny, too. It happens a lot in the NHL when the opposing team, the away team, has a defenseman holding the puck behind the net for a set regroup, and the defending team is in like a 1-3-1, or in this case, a 1-2-2 neutral zone sort of setup or trap. The home fans boo, but it's so ironic because the home team is the one actually the reason why they should be booing.
Yeah.
What is the opposing team supposed to do?
Ovalstad will wind this one in. Taken off the boards and not through, off the point. Loose puck bouncing around. D'Angelo, and Kleshka gets hammered by Russell. Lost by Peterson. Here's a backhand by D'Angelo. Again, just doesn't get to Boya. Putting on the moves, Ovalstad tries to thread it through, and Peterson hit it out the stick of Russell at center ice. Kleshka chopping at it. Holt will fire it in.
Just a little too much there from Ovalstad. Tried to make a play, create a shooting angle. Should have just put that puck down deep. UMass had some pressure going. You don't want to ruin that.
Kleshka can't get it off the boards. Marcus rings it around. Out to Chabrier, who fires it back in. There's Scholey credited with that 4th goal. One-timer Chabrier looking for a tip out in front. Wide of the pad of Irving, still on the attack here. Maine, Chabrier into the slot and sent over the glass.
Brandon Chabrier, the senior from Long Island, New York. Actually a kid that I used to skate with a lot in the summers. So great to see him coming to the conclusion of his college career. Had a really strong 3 years at Maine and now off to a great start in his 4th year. But it's getting weird, Jay. I'm starting to get old. Probably the last kid that I'll actually know that I've
the
skated
guys
with
anymore.
Yeah.
I know this is game number 99 for Chabrier in his career.
I'm washed up.
You're just getting started.
I had someone tweet at me, I think that the name was Creek. Take a shot every time Johnny Lazarus says that he played at UMass, and you'll be wasted. So now I'll talk about someone I skated with on Long Island
Maine,
instead.
okay. Out with it, Scholey. Looking for Fowler on the far side. Lieberman lost it. Scholey looking to get it into the slot. UMass deflects it. I think Van Tassel got a skate on there, and now he rips it high off the glass and over the netting.
Nick Van Tassel's been one of the positive guys, at least for the Minutemen tonight. The junior has been moving his feet pretty much all night long. He's still looking for his first goal. Oh, no, he got his first goal. Excuse me. Scored his first goal this evening off a great pass from Larry Keenan, so good to get that monkey off of his back. But Van Tassel's one of those guys that you've been looking to have a breakout year for the Minutemen. Had a pretty solid first 2 seasons of freshman and sophomore, but that junior year, you want to see him put up those points, and so far he's off to a pretty good offensive start.
Yeah, we had heard from a couple folks that this would be the year for him to really break out. Good to see him get that first goal as it's steered aside by Irving, sent out by UMass. And Wild trying to battle with Chabrier as the puck flutters over to the far side. Keenan now to Del Elche. Over to Wild, the RIT transfer leaves it back for Del Elche. One-timer pad save, Boya. UMass couldn't pound on the rebound. Lacroix gets it back. Off the boards, didn't see it. Now deep, Lacroix puts a hit on Chabrier, looking to thread it out in front of Wild, and Boya will sit on top of it.
These 3 have been solid as well, and Wild, Lacroix, and Cam O'Neill, they've actually generated some offensive chances. Granted, those aren't loud chances. A lot of them have been like shots from the point or just weird angled shots, but they've spent a lot of time in the offensive zone so far, it seems like tonight, those 3.
There's Albin Boya. His 7th game. Didn't play on that Saturday game. Matisse Rousseau did. And earned the win 8-5 against Boston University last weekend at home.
You're on fire with the French-Canadian names tonight.
Oh, je ne sais quoi today. To Ovalstad. Now to Galanic. Galenic centering feed off a stick. And the dough is there. Good idea. Now Lipinski winds it up. The Flames prospect. Behind the cage for Galenic. And out in front to Irving, who will cover it up. You know, talking about Boya, he was with the Bruins in the development camp this summer, opted to not sign in the NHL, comes back to Maine. And that was going to be our kind of thesis today. Both goaltenders, Robble and Boya, guys that could have gone to the NHL, did not. And of course, Robble not in there today, Irving is, but gives you an idea of how good Albin Boya is and how highly thought of he is.
And there's never a rush for goaltenders. Goaltenders take a little bit longer to develop before they really step into the NHL and thrive. So to see Boya and Harabel come back for their respective junior seasons is always a positive for their own career paths, but also for college hockey. You want to have a ton of great goalies in NCAA, and we do have a lot. Those two, Trey Augustine, another one at Michigan State. There's so many incredible netminders in Division I hockey.
By some Northeastern's goaltender, Zach Lauder, he's been amazing. Russell gets it deep, using his body to shield the puck. Zacher for Northeastern has really helped the Huskies get to where they are this season. Wild now into the zone. Back around for the Qua. Takes a bump. O'Neill flings it back to the near side. And Poirier first to get there. Poirier tries to get it out. It goes into the slot, a wobbling puck. Out to Lieberman, and the one-timer goes wide from Wild. I think I say it went out. Boya saying, no, I think I deflected it with the blocker, maybe, up and over the glass. And a good look for UMass.
Right there, though, Jay. That's what's been going on all night with the Minutemen. They create a turnover in the middle of the ice, but then Matthew Wild, instead of shooting the puck from the slot when he has a chance to get it off, gets it to the point and then drifts off towards the boards and takes the shot from the board. So it seems like the mental buy-in right now, they're just overcomplicating things for themselves. When you have a prime scoring chance, get the puck on net, you never know what can happen, versus taking a shot from outside the dots. The percentages just drop from that angle.
Tangle up at the face-off dot. And Maine will take it in. This one goes too far off the stick of Irving. Now has to just shovel it over into the corner. Fowler gets it out to the point. Now Chabrier. Chabrier walking it in. Pressured by D'Angelo. Sends it to the far side, and it will come out of the zone.
Miguel Marcus did not know that that was a delayed offside. The puck will come out of the zone. Another neutral zone faceoff.
So to your point, you got the puck in the slot, just put it on.
When you're down by 3 goals, it can't hurt.
I'm with you, partner. It's 12 shots on goal so far tonight for UMass.
The big boys have been quiet, though.
Yeah.
Haven't seen much from the top line. Del Elche from the blue line usually gets a couple chances per game.
It's been a fantastic O'Neill for UMass. Holt has it poke checked off his stick. Gets it back. Komarov looking for somebody out front. Peterson rips it in. Played by Irving. Jackson Irving making his first start of the season. And Lieberman just couldn't handle that pass, kind of summing things up tonight for the Minutemen.
Going to be a long video session tomorrow morning, that's for sure.
Not much time to lick your wounds either.
That is the beauty of it, though, Jay.
Yeah.
When you have a performance like this, you get another chance to do it tomorrow, make up for it, versus if this were the second game of the weekend and you got to think about it all week, it really eats away at you. So that's another positive you can find for the Minutemen. They got another chance to come back and make up for it tomorrow if things don't turn around here in the last 14 minutes.
On the dough on the back check, takes it away, or the forecheck takes it away from Nestrasil. And now Owen Murray. Yusa flips it into the corner. Nestrasil gathers and tries to send it back, but Langlois able to get there first. Fans on it. Here's Galenic out in front. UMass couldn't put a shot on. Had Musa up ice. Friel taken off the puck by Ulvelstad. Galenic will collect for Massachusetts. Estrasel battling along the boards, and Musa sends it out. With 13-12 to go here in the third period. Chabrier creates a distraction. And watch out, here's Poirier. Poirier shoots a bad save made by Irving. Good look from Poirier, looking for number 2 today. Chipped out by Jack Musa.
He can really shoot the puck. Justin Poirier with that little curl and drag like Connor Bedard in the NHL changes that release.
All alone down in front. Maine couldn't get a stick on it. Then it goes off the side. Scott was right there. He didn't have the angle on the near post. Lacroix gets sandwiched. Sent in for O'Neill. Coughlin tapped out now for Maine. Back to Coughlin. With 12:20 to go. Maine had 2 bodies unaccounted for right in front of the crease.
No rush here for Maine again. Chabrier taking it behind the net, killed the clock, make the Minutemen pressure you. No reason to go up the ice right now, being up 3 goals.
8 minutes gone by here in the third. 4-1 Maine. The Maine Black Bears took a 2-0 lead late in the first. Got going on a shorthanded goal. This one goes into the seats.
Right into the lap of a lucky fan.
Hey, that's the first lucky bounce UMass has seen tonight. That'll take us to the media timeout. 11:52 to go. Maine 4, UMass 1 from Amherst. Michael Robel not in net tonight for Massachusetts. Day-to-day is what we're told. And hey, Jackson Irving seeing 43 shots from this Maine team.
Certainly deserves a lot of recognition from his teammates and the coaches for his performance tonight. I got to be honest, I have not seen this lopsided of a game in this building probably since my first year playing here in that rough 5-win season under Coach Carville in his first year before things really turned around. But credit to Ben Barr and his program for what they've done. They've come into a really hard place to play, and they've controlled the pace. They've been smart, they've been disciplined pretty much all night, and they haven't allowed UMass or given UMass anything to work from.
And you go to the 4 goals. I mean, the shorthanded goal was a breakaway.
Second goal, 4-on-4, yep. Good bounce. Third goal, 5-on-3.
I mean, that 5-on-3 stretch really hurt Massachusetts, and credit Maine, they took advantage of it. Hard to come back from that. Maine has played a very solid game so far tonight. From the red line sent in, Giroir tries to wrap it around the net. Peterson pinning his man up against the board with a free hand around D'Angelo. Oh, man. A little tug of the jersey there on the shoulder pad. Leshka takes a hard hit from Peterson, and he is eliminated on the retaliation by Yenchko, who will go to the box.
Not sure if they're going to take Pichette as well. He got an extra cross-check in after the fact, but Yenchko came flying in and laid out the freshman Lucas Peterson, who's taken a couple big hits tonight for Maine. Yenchko now going to the box. The Black Bears have another chance to go on their power play. Left side of your screen, you'll see Yenchko 17 in white. Just come in a little late there and hit Peterson right in the back and drive him straight through the boards. That's the second hitting from behind penalty that the Minutemen have taken tonight. You can't do that, especially when you extend your arms with the stick out in front of you.
I wonder if there's frustration from what Peterson was doing on the end boards here. He was kind of holding Micah D'Angelo.
Ben Barr wants to challenge us for a 5-minute power play and really put the nail in the coffin here on this game if they can get a 5-minute power play chance.
So as it stands, it's 2 minutes right now. There's Coach Ben Barr. UMass, RPI, Union, Western Michigan. I mean, he's won everywhere he's gone. This was UMass with an opportunity out in front. Here's the penalty. Initially, Peterson puts his man into the boards, and then
I'm not sure if this warrants a 5. It's not directly from behind. Jensko cross-checks him a little bit to the oblique. I mean, I'm not saying it's a good play or a good hit or a hit I condone, but they might call it a 5, I guess, just to police the game a little bit. You don't want guys running around, throwing the body like that, or throwing cheap shots at each other, knowing they play tomorrow night as well. But I think this is going to be a 2, but I've been wrong before.
Officials talking it over.
After review, calling the ice stands, 2 minutes for boarding. Maine loses their timeout.
So Maine loses their timeout and stays a 2, and I get a +1.
There you go.
Credit to me.
Streak starts today. I mean, still very tough for UMass to find themselves back in this game. You needed some kind of spark to start this third period to give some doubt to Maine, but they have come out firing yet again. 43 shots on goal.
Also, if you're Ben Barr, you're not risking much by challenging and losing your timeout.
Oh, 5th power play for Maine. One-timer, save Irving. Loose puck, scooped up off the left circle, and this one just goes through. Nadeau slings it on blindly. And now, for Nadeau, you got to go say, did I get that goal at the end of the second? Because this would be a hat trick.
Nadeau starts it at the goal line. He rolls up top after a one-time chance by Poirier. A beautiful screen in front by Thomas Friel, taking the eyes away from Jackson Irving. Irving had no idea this puck even went behind him until it came back in front of him. So credit to Josh Nadeau, who's always been an incredible shooter, but almost looking off the goal as well. He was looking directly at Brandon Holt in the eyes and almost did a snake-eye shot that beat Irving to the 5-hole.
Had 2 goals entering today, credited with 2 goals tonight. And they initially had him for that goal at the end of the second. UMass trying to respond. Kerr stick handling in. Gets a good shot on net, saved by Boya. Mellenbacher reaching, sending into the corner. Here's Van Tassel now. So 2 goals as it stands for Nadeau, but we had him for 3, I thought.
I'd be throwing my hat if I were a Maine fan.
We can go back and look at that goal that made it 4-1. It was credited to Sully Sholey.
Just mental mistakes tonight for the Minutemen. That Jensko penalty, a little bit of discipline, frustration kicking in. Maine's power play has been pretty good all night. And the Minutemen, I think, are kind of beating themselves a little bit.
Maine's played a very crisp game this evening, taking off the puck. Delche rips it from Pichette. Halfway to go here in the third period. There's Musa in the slot, fan twice, and man, that's been the story tonight.
Things aren't clicking, guys aren't connected. That was the best rush these 3 have had.
Komarov has his shot sent up over the glass and out of play.
This is a really hard position to be in as a player because you're looking at the clock, you're saying there's 9.5 minutes to go. You're not feeling your best. You really just want to have this clock wind down and just limit the mistakes and not make the score any worse.
Oh, Ben Barr, then and now. Still got the great head of hair. Completely in shape. Looks the same.
Yeah, hasn't aged a day.
5 years gone by.
Of Benny Barr in Pittsburgh when UMass won that national championship back in 2021. Ben Barr has made a lot of incredible stops along the way to get to being a head coach for the first time for the University of Maine Black Bears. He was in Providence. He was at Union, he was at UMass. He was an instrumental part in building out so many different championship programs. And he actually is joined by Rick Bennett, who runs the defensive group for Maine, who was the head coach of Union when they won the national championship back in 2014. I got to meet Rick this morning. Those 2 were sitting for breakfast. Benny and I caught up on old times. He actually showed me a picture that was taken by Brendan McHugh, the old hockey ops director here when I was here. I guess B was creeping on us and took a picture of me and Benny doing video, which I can use later on social media for a caption contest of what Benny could have possibly been telling me.
Also on staff, Alfie Michaud, NCAA champion goalie back in 1999 with Maine. So they're feeling good about where they're at right now. Maine 2 of 5 on the power play today. Alvelstad has his shot blocked by Scott. Just still getting in shooting lanes here for Maine, up by 4.
I was just going to say the same thing. Your first line center, Max Scott, the junior, who transferred from Brown to follow his brother, who played here last year as an assistant captain.
And UMass scores right out in front. It's Jack Galenic who gets his first of his collegiate career.
Well, if there's one positive to take away, it's Jack Galenic finally being rewarded for his efforts. This top line has actually been generating some decent offensive looks in this third period, but this starts with the middle lane drive. Galenic just goes right to the blue paint. Nestersill with a good exchange, and Jack Musa finds Galenic, and the poise of Galenic in front of that net to pull it to his backhand. The skill is on display there for last year's Clark Cup champion.
How about Nestersill and Galenic charging the net on that play? We'll see, can UMass build a little momentum heading into tomorrow night? A misplay on the puck behind the net. Approaching 9 minutes to go here in the third. 5-2 now.
Unfortunate time for Galenic because you can't even really celebrate your first goal, but still an incredible accomplishment and something he should definitely smile about later on tonight.
He's playing top line with Musa and Nestersill. Guy that Coach Carve really likes and thinks is going to be a great player here at UMass for years to come.
Said he's a lot like Don Fleshmelis, who's making an impression in the Boston Bruins organization. Had a great preseason playing in the AHL with the Providence Bruins, and that's very high praise for Jack Galenic.
Without a doubt, icing waved off here. Irving again, miscommunication behind the net with Del Elche. Chabrier maneuvering. Chabrier doesn't get it through. Yenchko will take it away for UMass. And UMass can't get it together at the blue line. They'll have to regroup. 8:07 to go. Yenchko fires, and Boya will settle that one easily.
That one looked a little bit confusing too. Boya didn't make that save look very easy. Yenchko could really rip the puck. That one was bobbling a bit, but that's what UMass has to do. Throw more pucks on net. You got 15 shots. You got nothing to lose. You're down by 3. Get the puck over the blue line and just throw it towards the blue paint. See what could happen.
This match is a season high in goals allowed. UMass split a series on the road out at Omaha. Lost the last game of that set 5-2. That's where they are right now here against Maine.
Nick Fantassel just asked the officials for the puck to give to Josh Penn, who can put some tape on it and give to Jack Galenic as a nice memory piece.
Number 1 for Galenic. He's been a part of a handful of goals indirectly and directly with the assists. And down goes Nice. Settling at center ice here is Fantassel. Fantassel trying to drive to the net. His backhand stopped by Boya. Loose puck out into the crease. Digging at it. Massachusetts can't get a clean whack. Mellenbacher was there.
Really good stuff from Nick Fantassel tonight.
Del Elche dragged down. Komarov lost the stick. Pichette takes a bump along the far boards. UMass with the possession, wins the puck battle, but it deflects right to center ice. Langlois now stepping up is Del Elche. Still can't get it out. Nice pass by Lipinski. Nadeau setting it up. Nadeau and the shot. Jurasevich saved by Irving. Another save as it goes wide.
What a save on that rebound by Irving on Friel from the slot.
Nadeau again fires it on. 47 shots tonight. Friel with a shot. Who's next? Wide open. Jurasevich denied, and this time Irving says, okay, I found it. Let me sit on it. And even the UMass team very appreciative of what Irving just did.
Taking a deep breath is Jackson Irving. That toe save, I don't know how he got that on the shot from Langlois. It looked like from the slot. Irving continues to battle all night, and there you see the guys, Galenic and Musa, giving him some love. This kid has faced 50 shots on goal and has only given up 5. Insane performance in net for Jackson Irving, despite what the scoreboard might say.
Inspiring here for UMass today, an otherwise dim evening inside the Mullen Center. Atlantic lays a hit. UMass trying to get fired up here in the final 6:20.
At least these three got one. Musa, Galanic, and Nesrasil. To have a performance like tonight and come away with no points to show for it, you can at least say we found a way to get one, and that's some momentum you can bring into tomorrow, because these three, as good as they are, they're going to have to be a whole lot better for the Minutemen to come away with a split this weekend.
.6:15 left. Off the draw, the Black Bears, and a shot. What a quick wrist from Justin Poirier. Add another one for Irving.
Poirier makes something out of nothing. That's something that I'm noticing with him. The Carolina Hurricanes prospect, played in the CHL last year, known for his goal scoring and his offensive ability. From the top of the zone, just throws one on net, and it looks dangerous. Just knowing there are bodies there, could find its way through.
Last time UMass allowed 50 or more shots on goal was against Quinnipiac in 2017.
I was there.
How'd that game feel?
It was horrible. I think we lost 3-2. Did I say that? Had an assist, though.
Doesn't say.
Damn.
I'll take your word for it.
It was at Quinnipiac?
Just says versus Quinnipiac. We'll have to go into the box score for that one.
We'll have to ask Jill.
Inside 6 to go.
Those Quinnipiac teams were so good.
That gives an idea of how rare this is for a performance against the Minutemen. And Scott tries to send this one through. Kleshka got a pad on it. Russell running free into the UMass zone. Keenan plays it off the back boards.
Got look dangerous.
Everything's been a little bit uncertain today for UMass, and Maine, to their credit, blocker save from the red line. I mean, the goal for Maine is throw it on net today.
Stat padding now for Jackson Irving.
Peterson gets it to Sholey. Fowler now looking. Fowler tries to thread it through. Marcus back to the point, and Peterson. Poked out by Kleshka. Another blocker save by Irving. Jurasevich can't get this one past Owen Murray. Inside 5 to go. Still with the puck here, Maine. Fowler, high slot. Throws it on, and the tap in is good. Marcus gets his 3rd of the season. And Maine filling it up here, 6-2.
We've seen it all night. The Maine Black Bears just piling it on now. Great offensive zone pressure sustained. It's the 4th line. Miguel Marcus creeps to that back post after moving the puck to the point. He's able to escape from Larry Keenan's check. Larry Keenan just stands up straight for 1 split second and leaves Marcus wide open on the back post. Greg Carvel's not going to like that one. And poor Jackson Irving, another one goes by him.
Inside the final 5 of the period, presented by Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Mass General Brigham Cancer Institute, the most cancer specialists in New England. They're one team working together to provide care that puts their patients first. Mass General Brigham is one against cancer. 6-2, season high in goals allowed for UMass.
Very deflating tonight. It's always tough to mentally respond after a performance like this, but after a long video session, you know the coaches aren't going to be happy about this performance. They're going to have to come out and motivate these guys tomorrow to just come away with some sort of positives from this weekend, because the fans are leaving the building right now with 4 minutes to go, and well, it looks like UMass might get another chance at the power play.
So last time UMass had a goaltender record 50 or more saves. Brian Reagan, 95. Last time At Princeton, 56. Ryan Wishow.
Yeah, that was my class.
2016. You guys gave up a lot of shots, didn't you?
Yes, we did. I told Wish I wasn't blocking one. You got all the padding on, you save it.
You'll see some of those guys, well, maybe some of those guys coming back next weekend.
I'm not sure who's making the trip or not, but I did see Jack Suter, who was here for 4 years over the past weekend in Omaha, Nebraska. It was always great to catch up with a former teammate.
By the UMass Amherst Foundation, a proud supporter of UMass Athletics. Together we create a winning team for our flagship campus. For more information and to get involved, go to uma-foundation.org. Go UMass. Black Bears on their 5th power play. Both teams with 5 penalties tonight.
UMass hasn't been able to generate much on the man advantage tonight. It's actually hurt them more than it's helped them. They've allowed a shorthanded goal. Hopefully they can get some good looks here and try to get some sort of positive.
Yeah, that shorthanded goal really set the tone, unfortunately, for the Minutemen. But Doe with a great breakaway opportunity. And he was able to bury it on Irving. So UMass will try to get another one here. Galanic looking for some space. There's just nothing in the middle. One-timer from the point to Lelche. Blocked yet again by Maine.
I got to credit Max Scott. That's at least the 3rd block shot he's had in this period, and his team's up 4 goals. This guy is a warrior.
1 minute to go on the Valley Solar power play. UMass trailing 6-2.
I'm really impressed by this Maine Black Bear team. They're number 6 in the country for a reason. Just very connected in all 3 zones. Everyone looks bought in. Great goaltending. They got it all.
Yeah, this is going to look pretty good when all said and done for Maine, where they stack up in the national rankings. Depends what happens tomorrow, though. UMass can regroup if Maine can come back out with that same tenacity. This shot goes up and over off the stick of O'Neill. What a heater from O'Neill. Now to Van Tassel. At the first goal for UMass. Tipped in front over the cage by O'Neill again. Van Tassel foraging for it. Takes it off the stick of Nadeau. Walking in, and it's sliced away by Maine and out for Fowler. Komarov out of the box with 1:52 to go.
Another missed opportunity for the Minutemen on the power play. Power play that was at 30%, I believe, or north of 30% coming in.
9 of 29. To your point. And a hand pass. 0 for today, however, for Massachusetts. And only got a couple of power plays last week against a very disciplined Cornell team. Took advantage, scored on the first 2 power plays that UMass was given last week, and ended up on the weekend 2 of 3 in that category. Different story here today. 48 saves. Let's see if we can get Irving over the 50 mark. Maine still on the aggressive side of things here. Very tenacious tonight.
Have not taken their foot off the
No,
gas
sir.
at all.
Wild rims it around. Komarov out to Giroux. Back to Peterson. He takes a bump from Lacroix. Played by Irving, and UMass just lost it. Sholey circling, centering, deflected. Yusa got a stick on there. Spin it back on, off a body. Loose puck ricochets and still goes through the slot. Played up and off the boards by Lacroix. So they'll ice it down with 36 seconds to go. Be back at it tomorrow night. That'll be a Nesson telecast. Johnny Lazarus will be on the call. I'll be replaced to the enjoyment of many. See you next time.
Don't say that, Jay. I love doing games with you.
Oh,
I'll miss you tomorrow night. You'll still be here, no?
I'll be lurking, yeah. I mean, when things go wrong, who are you going to call? Drew Holtgreave back in the production room. He's the one to go to first. Avery Jackson directing today. We welcome him back. Icon in the industry.
And a look at some new cameras, some wireless cameras.
Our
Some great shots.
My man Benito rocking the camera. Jacob Munch back in the production room as well, holding it down. Busy weekend. You got hockey tomorrow, then a doubleheader basketball on Saturday. Big question how UMass comes out tomorrow, though.
Well, they came out flat in the first period. They weren't playing in their structure. They weren't playing in their identity. Another offensive zone penalty now for Jack Musa. He'll be called for a hook from what it looks like. But the Minutemen did not establish a forecheck early enough in this game. They came out in the first 20 minutes and were outshot 19-3. They never found their game. So tomorrow, right from the first shift, start your most energetic line. Tell them to dump the puck in. Go hit somebody, get the puck back, keep it simple, and then build from there. But a very deflating loss at home like this.
And I think fans who didn't watch will look at the score and say, oh, Robbo wasn't in net. Nah, that has nothing to do with it tonight. Jackson Irving stood his ground. He had been under assault all evening long.
This was a Maine team that just flat out wanted it more.
One more from Maine. Save number 49. We won't get quite the 50 for Irving, but you get the point. The Maine Black Bears on a roll. Undefeated in Hockey East. Now 3-0 for Maine. UMass falls to 0-2 in Hockey East, 6-4 on the season. Maine gets their 6th win of the year, and they're looking like a team to be reckoned with in the conference this year.
And an even bigger positive for Maine is that Alvin Boya wasn't even really tested much tonight. So now you got a fresh goalie playing most likely tomorrow night on the second half of a back-to-back. And that's always a huge added bonus when you got one of the best goalies in the country that can play both games in a weekend and now help you get a sweep and have a nice bus ride back to Maine.
Always a pleasure, partner.
Always.
UMass back at it tomorrow. Same two teams, same time, different network. We'll check you out then. For Johnny Lazarus and our entire production crew, until next time, from Amherst, my name's Jay Burnham saying so long, everybody.